Hello, we are back finally. It has been a while. I've had some real bad mental health problems just this past month, which is why I haven't been making videos this month. So you haven't seen me. I haven't even been like posting on Twitter or anything like that. Not that I post like a lot, but I haven't been doing anything but reading and trying to pull myself out of this really bad rut that I found myself in. My mental health just tanked this month. But it is Friday morning before I go to work, October 29th. So the weekend of Halloween, and I figured I would do a Halloween weekend reading vlog. I don't have a whole lot planned for this weekend, but I figured it'd be fun. I'd try to do just some little like cozy, spooky stuff. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. If anything, I'm just gonna do a weekend reading vlog, and Halloween happens to fall on this weekend. But I'm gonna try to make it kind of themed. I currently am not reading any physical books right now. I just finished the one that I was reading last night. I was reading The Devil in the Dark Water, which phenomenal, highly recommend. You will hear me talk about it more in my October wrap-up, so I won't talk about it here since I'm not actually reading it in this vlog. I do have 4 more physical books on my very ambitious October TBR. Clearly I'm not going to get to all 4 of those before the end of the month because I've got today, tomorrow, and Sunday. But I know there are 3 of the 4 that I'm kind of tossed up on what I actually want to read. I've already ruled out The Secret History. I'm not going to be in the mood for that. But the other 3 I'm kind of in a toss-up in. I haven't decided what I want to read yet. I've either got A Lesson in Vengeance, which I've heard surprisingly kind of more disappointing things about. I haven't heard a whole lot, but what I have heard, people weren't super impressed with it. I also have The Hazelwood, which this is another one that I haven't heard a whole lot about, but the couple things that I have heard, people did like it. And then I have The Maidens, which was one book that I had been really anticipating coming out this year, and it has been quite the controversy. People either are kind of like, it's okay, it's good, or they absolutely hate it, and I've been really curious to see kind of where I fall in line with that. So I woke up feeling a little dangerous, and I'm kind of leaning more towards picking this up just to see kind of where I fall in this. But I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I am currently listening to the audiobook of Cemetery Boys. I'm really slow at listening to audiobooks, so I'd started it at the beginning of the month and I'm still working my way through it. I think I've got about 3 hours and some change left on it, so I'll probably listen to that before I go to work. In the mornings I like to get up with enough time to read and drink coffee for a little. Sorry, camera keeps moving because Toasty keeps bumping the box that I have the camera set on. She keeps nosing it. Yeah, I usually try to get up with a little bit of time in the morning she's about to jump off. There we go. With a little bit of time to read and drink my coffee, and so I have time to do that now, but I haven't decided for sure which physical book I want to pick up. Hi, hello. So I think I'm just gonna listen to that this morning, but I will check in a little bit, well, not a little bit, I'll check in after work or this evening at some point, and let you know which book I do decide to pick up for this weekend. They're all relatively short. None of them are super thick at all, so I feel like I'll be able to maybe bust one out this weekend. I don't know, it depends on how things go, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm really excited to kind of be back in like the video making, not even mood, just like, I guess the mindset to be able to do anything besides lay in bed and pick up a book after work. But I'm glad I finally am getting some of my motivation back, because I've missed making videos. So yeah, I'm gonna listen to Cemetery Boys and drink my coffee and then have to head off to work, and I will see you all in a bit. Hello, I'm back. I know I said that I was going to update Friday evening, but it's now Saturday morning. This work week was just absolutely nuts, super stressful, and just really mentally taxing. So by the end of Friday, by the time I got home, I took a really long nap, and then I did read for a little while, but I just didn't read like enough that I felt like it warranted an actual update. But then now it's Saturday morning, and I did wake up and do some reading while I drank coffee, so I do have, you know, enough of an update. I did end up picking up The Maidens by Alex Michaelides because, like I said, I was feeling quite dangerous, I guess. I was just really curious about how, like, there were so many like strong reactions to this book, and I was just curious to see kind of where I fell in the reactions. I did reach the end of part 1, so about this far into the book. That's like, I don't know, 87 pages in. It's like a little over 300 pages. How long is it? Let's see. 333 pages. But it is officially the end of part 1. I'm intrigued. Okay, my battery is about to die, so we're gonna restart my explanation. Please ignore the mess behind me with the sweatshirts and such. So basically in this book, we are following Mariana. She's a group therapist in London. And one day she gets a call from her niece, Zoe, who goes to Cambridge, saying that a dead body of a girl has been found, and Zoe thinks that it is her good friend Tara. Turns out it is. And so Mariana goes to Cambridge to visit Zoe and check on her, and Tara claims that she thinks that one of the professors killed Tara. Nobody seems to kind of believe that claim. The professor has an alibi from a bunch of his students, but while Mariana's there, she really gets like a weird feeling that Zoe's holding back information about this professor and the group of students. It's like 6 women that end up showing up at one point, kind of following the professor, all dressed in these like long white dresses, and they're just kind of really strange. That's kind of a convoluted explanation, but that's kind of where I am so far. We're at the end of part 1, where she has kind of just really decided that she's going to stay in Cambridge for a couple of days and do her own little look into the professor. We've spent a lot of time talking about Mariana's grief over losing her husband and then going back to Cambridge where they actually had met. And so it's kind of been a bit of a slow start. We've really talked a lot about death and grief. There's been a lot of characters that have just been mentioned that are connected to our main character, as well as Zoe, that have all passed away, and at various points during both of their lives, and it's just been a very common theme, which is interesting. I'm definitely intrigued, but I don't have much of an I guess much of a feeling towards this book past that. I'm a little worried that I'm gonna get bored halfway through, because that kind of seems to be a common complaint, but we'll see. So far the chapters are really short, so I feel like it is easy to move through pretty quickly. I mean, like I said, I'm only on page 87, but I don't foresee having any issues of actually like cruising through this book over the next 2 days. But yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous and apprehensive, but I'm intrigued and really wanting to give it a good shot. The one thing, Michael Eddy's writing kind of bugs me. I don't know what it is. There's something about it where there's just little sentences that he says, like, just sprinkled throughout, that feel almost cheesy, I guess. I don't know if that's the good word or like what I'm really trying to say, but something about his writing just kind of irks me a little bit. But I'm hoping to kind of overlook that, or at least put my finger on what it is that irks me, and then be able to move past that throughout the rest of this book. But yeah, I will definitely be obviously continuing this throughout the day. I did also make some progress in Cemetery Boys. I did listen to that yesterday morning while I was drinking my coffee. I've got about 2 hours and 40 minutes left in that book. And so I don't foresee any issues of actually finishing it by the end of tomorrow. This book, it's so like heartfelt and so well done. It definitely reads on the younger side of YA, but that doesn't negatively impact the enjoyment of the story at all. I'm one of those people that doesn't typically connect with middle grade or younger YA novels very well. I just purely because I don't click with that writing style very well. But I'm really enjoying this. I don't know if it's because it's like in audio format, so I'm listening to it. It is very easy to listen to. The narrator's been doing a fantastic job. But the characters are just so genuine and just so well written, and the story is just this like really heartfelt coming of age story that I've absolutely loved. We're basically following Yadriel, and he is a trans boy growing up in this Latinx community that can basically confer with spirits. They have basically gender assigned abilities. The women are all healers, and then the men all help pass spirits on to the afterlife. And so being a trans boy, he obviously wants to be able to help pass spirits on to the afterlife, but everybody doesn't want to give him that chance to go through the ceremony of coming of age and coming into his abilities. But he ends up going through his ceremony himself, and it goes successfully, but while doing that, he uncovers a spirit of a boy that goes to school with him. And during the same night, one of his cousins is murdered, but nobody knows how or what happened to him, and nobody can find his body. And it's just I don't know, I've just really been enjoying it. I am really looking forward to seeing how this ends. It has made me tear up a couple of times, just because it is so like well written emotionally. It's well written in general, but I've just really enjoyed how easy it is to emotionally connect to this story. You're really rooting for all of the characters. I will say I feel like some of the hints that have been dropped, if my kind of guesses as to what's going to happen turn out to be correct, the hints are pretty heavy-handed. I do think that that probably has to do with the fact that it is written in sort of a younger fashion, but even if my guesses turn out to be correct, I really don't think that's going to hinder my enjoyment of this at all. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes, and I would highly recommend it. But yeah, I will kind of check in a little bit later with my updates on both of those stories, hopefully. If not, I'll definitely be making progress in the Maidens by the time I check in with you next. I know Connor and I are thinking about going to go see Last Night in Soho. It's an Anya Taylor-Joy movie that just came out, I think, like Thursday. It's supposed to be like a psychological thriller that I'm really excited about, and I think we're gonna go see it today. And so I'll probably have an update on my thoughts for that movie as well. But yeah, I will... Oh, one other thing that's super exciting. I meant to mention this when I was talking about work, and then I didn't. But so work was super stressful this week, but it ended... Even though it ended when I was exhausted, it ended with a super heavy thing. I got a huge promotion, which I'm super excited about. I was not expecting. It's like the same position, but like the next, I guess, step up. I'm gonna be doing the same thing, but it just comes with a really big raise, and I'm now moving from hourly to salary pay. But yeah, I just was really touched. My boss said that he had been working on getting it through the system for a couple months now, and that my team has nothing but great things to say about me. So yeah, it was super exciting. It was a huge surprise, and it was a really nice surprise that helped me get through the rest of Friday, as I was struggling to stay mentally present enough after feeling pretty beaten down through the whole week. My whole team, yeah, it was a rough week. But yeah, so that was exciting. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna head out now, and I will update you later. Again, I'm back. It's about 5:30 on Saturday. We just got back from watching Last Night in Soho. And walking Toast. Hello. Oh, hi. Come say hi. Go say hi. No? You wanna say hi? Oh. Okay, and so we just got back from walking Toast. Ew, you like slobbered all over me. And I figured I'd give a little bit of my thoughts on the movie. I'm not super critical when it comes to watching movies. I don't know why. I just like, you give me a solid plot, some good characters, and maybe lots of colors and action, I'm pretty happy, but I really enjoyed this movie. This is a psychological thriller horror, so if you haven't seen the trailer, I recommend going to go watch it, but otherwise I'll give you kind of a brief rundown. So we follow our main character, Ellie. She gets into a fashion school in London, and so she moves there, starts going to school there. Some things happen, and she ends up moving out of her kind of student housing rather quickly, and moving into this old house. Like, it's got like a loft flat up on the top floor, and while she's there, when she goes to sleep, hello, yes, hello, excuse you. When she goes to sleep, she wakes up, or I guess wakes up. When she goes to sleep, she dreams that she is kind of following / living as this young woman named Sandy in the 1960s in London, as she is trying to make her way into being a kind of like a classy lounge singer. And so Ellie during the day is going to school, meeting this fashion student, is looking forward each night to kind of following Sandy's story, which quickly turns rather sinister. I really think that Thomasin McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy did a phenomenal job with their characters. Absolutely loved both of them. I definitely think the roles were made for them. I really liked how this movie kind of like slowly descended into chaos. It just kind of became more and more kind of rapid back and forth between timelines into this just like really chaotic mess of scenes that were still, you know, really easy to follow of what was going on. I like, story aside, I think that like the film itself was absolutely wonderfully made. The different scene transitions were really well done, and kind of just the camera angles and the like way that they artfully put both Ellie and Sandy in the scenes together as like both one person and Ellie as a ghost watching Sandy. Well, when I say ghost, I mean like ghost, and like, you know, she's kind of like invisible watching Sandy. I just think that that was really well done, and I think that the movie touched on some really interesting topics that were really respectfully well done. I don't want to get too much into spoiler territory, but it does lead into some pretty heavy topics, but I think that they, like I said, were really respectfully well done, and I just really enjoyed it. There were a couple of pretty big twists that like I didn't see coming until like right before they were revealed, and then it kind of clicked in my head, and it was really satisfying to then be proven correct. But yeah, I don't know, I just really enjoy it. I know Connor is a little more critical of film than I am. Hey Connor, do you want to give your rating? Okay. He's back now, he's here.
So what are you paying me to do?
I'm not paying you anything.
You're not?
No, I don't pay you. I'm fine. Okay, bye. Nobody wanted to hear your thoughts anyway. I'm just kidding. How'd you like the movie?
I'd love to tell the camera.
Come here. How'd you like the movie?
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll give it a 8.5 to 9.
Oh, I see. I was expecting you to say like a 7 out of 10, because you're really harsh when rating.
Yeah.
What?
I really didn't have much to be critical about in this movie. I thought they did a fantastic job. All the stuff that I was a little unsure of, kind of sorted itself out by the end of the movie. I'm sure Sarah talked about this, but a lot of the themes and everything I think were really well addressed and approached. But the sadist inside of me wishes some other stuff happened in the movie, but I can't detract from it because they did a really great job with it. Yeah.
All right.
Edgar Wright's never Edgar wrong.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, thanks. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Well, I'll update you later. Okay, bye. Hello again, it's Sunday morning. Apparently all of my updates are just gonna be from this spot. Anyway, so like I said, it's Sunday morning. I finished listening to Cemetery Boys this morning and I really liked it. It had a great ending. I did predict, well, there's one part that I didn't predict, but everything else, basically, I predicted happened, but I'm not, like, disappointed in that at all. I really enjoyed everything that ended up happening. It was just, yeah, just overall, like, a really heartwarming coming-of-age story. It deals with a lot of, pretty heavy, serious topics it deals with them really well, obviously with acceptance of an LGBT plus member into a community, and then kind of just the wide diversity of the Latinx community, as well as kind of some classism, and just like various different things like that. It was, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I think that the author handled those topics really well. And then I also made some progress in the Maidens. I am this far through, I'm about 2/3 maybe, a little over half, 2/3, something like that, of the way through. I'm on page 203 of like 330, so I definitely will be finishing this today. So I definitely see where people are complaining of being bored through the whole like middle section. I'm not necessarily bored. I'm still like intrigued enough about the book, but I understand where people are coming from. There's like this weird sense of like detachment, I feel like, as the reader. I feel like the author didn't bridge like the gap between the story and the reader very well, and I kind of think that maybe where some people are getting bored. The pacing is also kind of slow paced, but it's over a period of like a very short period of time. I don't know, it's kind of strange. I think what's keeping me intrigued with this is like the little like passages and like artwork and stuff from like ancient Greek rites is popping up in the story, and kind of being incorporated into the deaths of the girls, and so that's interesting. It adds like kind of a creepy, unsettling layer, and I'm interested to see kind of where that gets really tied up in the end of this book. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot that the author is trying to pull together while also not really doing anything at all. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, it feels like not a lot is happening, but then there are lots of like elements that the author is like placing throughout the story. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see how this finishes out. I'm hoping that it like at least ends really well, but like if I had to rate it right now, I'd probably give it like a 3-star, something like that. It's not horrible, but I'm not like super into it. It is Halloween, but I am kind of probably just gonna keep it pretty low-key. I plan on putting some like spooky kind of instrumental music on in the background and reading. I gotta do some laundry, so nothing like too crazy, but I do want to kind of have a little bit of like festive atmosphere going today. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that is kind of all I have to update you on reading wise today so far, but I will check in with you I don't know, later today. So I finished it. And I truly wanted to like this. Like, I wanted to be, like, I don't read books with the intention of, like, not liking it. I pick it, I want to like them, even if I hear, like, a bunch of negative reviews and stuff. Like, I still wanted to enjoy it. And, like, it was okay. It wasn't, like, anything crazy throughout the entire like first 3/4. Well, maybe the first 2/3. And then we got into like 2/3 to 3/4 and I was like, cause something like, I don't know. And then the whole ending, don't get me wrong, I liked the decision of the ending. Definitely didn't see it coming. Like, disturbing twist, unsettling twist, but there were so many like little things sprinkled throughout the story that I felt never got tied up. Like, you know, when you've got a thriller and you've got all these things that like are trying to misguide you or whatever, they still all end up coming together in like an unexpected twisty way that still makes sense and feels like wrapped up. And there were so many things that I felt like never, they were just there to simply mislead you, and like there was no other purpose besides that. And I did not like that. If you're gonna have things mislead you, they should still be like wrapped up somehow. The red herring in this was so heavy-handed, and I'm not talking the professor that our main character is like spending the entire book trying to like convict or whatever. I'm talking of, there's like another red herring that like I called about halfway through. I was like, I bet you it's him. And then there was like 2 or 3 other little hints that like weren't even hints. They were just like, I want you to think that it's this guy. It was so obvious that like the author was like forcing your head to look that way. And it was like completely unnecessary to have it be that heavy-handed. And it was like annoying and frustrating because there were like some of those really obvious like little hints and tidbits that were dropped. I was like, are we not gonna talk about this? Are we not gonna go back and look at that? Because, like, I just, hello? Like, I want to know. I need to know. You can't just, like, drop this and then not have any sort of, like, further look into it as to, like, I don't know why it's there or whatever. I don't know. I just... And then, so like, it says in the synopsis, why does he keep returning to the rites of Persephone, the maiden, and her journey to the underworld? So this is slightly spoiler territory. Slightly. But I'm going to try to keep it as vague as possible. It keeps popping up throughout this book. This, like, secret cult that knew, like, had these rites of Persephone that, like, kind of transcended life and death. And it keeps popping up, and it's creepy, and it creates this like weird, like unsettling sense about the story, and it just goes nowhere. It just kind of like peters out and dies. And it's like the way this ended, it would have made perfect sense to have that tie in, and it would have been so satisfying. And instead it was like, well, where did that go? Like, hello? I don't know. It was so, I got really frustrated reading the end, and I was like, are we not gonna discuss this? Are we not gonna discuss that? Like, hello? I don't know. Like I said, I was really hoping to like this. I felt like, weirdly, I didn't mind the middle part, and it was the end that really ruined it for me. And I feel like for most people, they hated the middle part, and the end saved the story a bit for them. Will I read The Silent Patient? I wasn't planning on it after hearing Em's review, because just kind of what she said was involved in the story, and like the end in like non-spoilery ways is something that I don't like about stories as well. But after reading this, his second novel, I definitely don't think I'm gonna pick up The Silent Patient. I'm not gonna give it 1 star because it wasn't like, there's nothing problematic about it, and I don't like to give books 1 star unless there's something problematic. So it's like, I'm probably gonna give it like 2 stars. But yeah, I'm sad to say that I am on the disappointed side of the like general thoughts on this book. But I finished it. So there's that. Yeah, and I was really looking forward to it, so it's kind of sad, it's disappointing. But we had Cemetery Boys, which was very, very good, and I really enjoyed that one. So, you know, we finished an audiobook and a physical book, and we watched a good movie this weekend. This is turning out to be a very, very low-key, not spoopy Halloween vlog at all, but, that's okay. That's okay, because I'm making a video again, and we're getting back on the right track of getting back into things. So that's all that matters. But I am going to end this vlog here. It is Sunday evening. I think I'm gonna go watch an episode of Neon Genesis with Connor. We've slowly, very slowly been working our way through that. I think we're only like 4 episodes in, and we've technically been watching it for like maybe a month now. Maybe not that long, maybe a couple weeks. But anyway, I think I'm gonna go watch that, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna end this vlog here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing. Let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of the books that I've talked about in this video, or if you're looking to go see Last Night in Soho, if you've already seen it, what your thoughts are. But yeah, I really appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!